Welcome to Aid Station Cuisine, a podcast for connecting endurance athletes and their personal experiences with the intersection of food, culture, and athletics. The show is presented by PawAnRepeat Media LLC, and I am Kyle Petronio, your host, producer, founder, and owner of PawAnRepeat Media. So our show format is a bit more open-ended than other podcasts out there, so listen in and we'll give you a general rundown. So our guest, they are known as the chef. That could be the master example of a cooking legend, whether that be through food or athletic ability. That's up to you to decide, of course. And the host, typically yours truly, although that may vary, will ask the guest several open-ended questions before allowing them to discuss a topic of their choosing. So you're looking at about a 30 to 45 minute episode counter each time, which is a great duration for those of you who like to multitask or would rather intentionally listen. Nothing too crazy here. Now, to introduce our guest. Our chef today is Margaret Levasseur, a seasoned runner, social worker, and connoisseur of silly vibes. And also she's my partner, so that's pretty neat, brother. Early on, discussions revolve around the beginnings of Aid Station Cuisine, how the podcast was started, and how the name was created. In addition, we discuss animals, whether you're a cat or dog person. I think both groups will appreciate our answer to the dog versus cat debates. Furthermore, we discuss the Bandit racing team and perfect workouts, what goes into those, as well as sinus rinse addiction. Spoiler alert, we are not addicted to sinus rinses. We discuss the possibility that others might be. You never know. And as the conversation progresses, we discuss Margaret's introduction into running and the impact that carries for her in the present day. And we also discuss the burdens of injury and the mental struggles that those conditions create, in particular her injury of the Achilles. If any of that sounds interesting to you, you might want to give this a listen. If you enjoy the podcast, please share it with all your friends. Give us a rate on whatever platform you're looking at. And yeah, please enjoy the episode. This is episode 1 of Aid Station Cuisine featuring Margaret Levasseur. Enjoy. Welcome to Aid Station Cuisine, a podcast for connecting endurance athletes and their personal experiences with the intersection of food, culture, and athletics. The show is presented by PawAnRepeat Media LLC. I am Kyle Petronio, your host and producer. Our chef today is Margaret Levasseur, a seasoned runner, social worker, and connoisseur of silly vibes. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm a little...
Okay? I got you sick, didn't I?
You got me sick, yeah. So I'm a little...
It's all my fault.
I got some bad sinus pressure today.
Yeah. That's, something that happens when you live together for a little bit.
You cohabitate. You
share all the things.
Share your mucuses.
Share the muci. I don't know.
The muci.
I guess we should also introduce you, but you don't really need much introduction. I don't know.
Well, I don't need much introduction to you,
me,
but to whatever your audience is.
I don't know what my audience is. We're just kind of winging it. What makes Margaret Levasseur? That's a better question.
Oh, well, I don't know. I think I'm a little quirky and also a little shy at times. So sometimes the quirkiness doesn't come out until I'm really comfortable with someone. I think I like to kind of drop in little remarks and see if somebody notices.
Yeah.
I think last year I was on a Guinness Zero run and somebody was talking about chafing nipples and I was like, oh, 'tis the season. Just drop that in somebody, I think maybe Adam laughed or something.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
So yeah, I don't like to be front and center, but I like to kind of just be around and just if someone's paying attention,
you're tuned to the pulse, sort of.
Yeah, or cats, they like to be in the room with you, but they're not always look at me, They're just oh, I'll sit next to me, pat me occasionally.
Yeah.
Don't forget about me.
Yeah. on a similar note, like I identify almost like as this like dog type character, and you're very like cat like in ways, and it's just this contrast that kind of like also brought us together, which is we could talk about. But first question for you: what inspires you?
Oh wow, that's a
just straight into it. I was gonna do like a have you ever been on a podcast, but I know you have because you've been on the previous podcast.
Oh yeah,
as have I.
And that's stealing from Adam.
Shout out Adam.
Adam's
Hughes.
formatting. Yeah.
Yeah.
What inspires me? Jeez, I don't know.
Or like it can be something recent. I like going very open ended and letting people just pontificate on things.
I think maybe people being kind to each other just for the sake of being kind to each other. Like, just like people acting out of the goodness of their heart. Like thinking about being in this new neighborhood that I'm in, like everyone kind of looking out for each other, looking out for packages, stuff like that. And I think it goes deeper than that, like people like taking care of one another. Yeah. Oddly enough, what comes to mind is like, well, we were watching Harry Potter last night, and when you realize that like Snape has been watching over Harry for the whole time, like.
Well, that's crazy because like I've seen it like a couple times. Like 2022 was the first time I like fully watched through all the movies.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like until much later that I guess really last night that it clicked. Like,
yeah.
Whoa.
Well, like when like you see like Snape's Patronus, I just like started crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, you know, someone looking out for you and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is really cool. I guess if I were to answer that question, and I'll probably answer this question each time, and depends on who's the host, the chef, whatever. I think similarly like kindness, but also just like the fact that community this year has been kind of I don't know, like there's just been a lot of different communities I've been involved with, and it's been really like cool to just kind of is assimilate the right word? I don't know.
Assimilate, join, like become similar.
Yeah, just to do all that. And ooh, some water ASMR. Love to see that. Second question: what is your favorite recipe for workouts? You can take that as what kind of food do you like, or what kind of spice do you like to add to your workouts?
Recipe for workouts.
Like, what are the essentials for you? Maybe. Considering you might be doing one later and it's cold out.
Yeah, well, a not icy path.
There you go.
Like a.
Not an ice rink.
No, I don't do. No. I don't like that. It's scary.
You don't like that at all.
Yeah, like a good place to run. Yeah, like in college when I was at MSU, we would. Like there's always kind of a format for the workout, like a location and like thing that we were doing. Like, you know, we would do the Michigan workout at the track, and then do, you know, like the grass repeats on the field across the street, or, you know, we'd go down and do like repeats at the livestock pavilion. So
some
like,
sort of repetition.
Well, yeah, like a plan, like a plan, and like, I don't know. Something like there. I feel like there has to be an intention for the workout. Like this is an easier run, or this is a tempo run, or this is short and fast intervals. So I don't know, like a good warm up, a good venue, and like usually I like to have people with me to either like chase or be chased, but I can certainly do a workout by myself. I guess if I'm by myself, I do like to listen to music, which I know some people are very like anti that, but I don't know. I don't have an issue with it.
No preference either way.
Well, I mean, I don't have an issue with it. Like, I don't think it's a problem that I like to listen to music. Yeah, and like, I don't know.
I had a couple thoughts like to contribute there. I just wanted to let you. Go off on your little way.
Yeah.
The one thing you said about intention was interesting because like I feel like we both try to live a life with intention and like kind of be a little more deliberate than other people can sometimes be, perhaps. But also like for me, I feel like sometimes I just wane and just go all over the place, even with workouts. Like I'll just pick something from here, pick it from a different source and just try to
Mm-hmm.
make it interesting. You're like looking at me very blankly, like, yes, we know.
No, I'm just looking at you.
That's cute. Thank you. Where's that going with this? Intention. I don't know. But yeah, I do like your points. What kind of workout are you gonna do today? It's like December 21st, for right before the holiday season.
It's the solstice.
It is the solstice.
It's the
Happy solstice day.
Shortest day of the year.
No idea when this will come out, but it'll probably be more sunlight.
Yeah, from now on, like the days are gonna get a little bit longer, which I like that. You said.
Go ahead.
What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say not having, darkness at 4 p.m. will be nice.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For
I mean,
sure.
it's tough. Like at work, like I have a skylight in my office, and like when it's 5 o'clock, I'm like, oh man, I'm just like I'm ready to go to bed. Like,
Yeah.
But you said what am I gonna do today?
Yeah.
Well, I've been doing. I'm not like actively like in, hardcore training block, but I'm just trying to like slowly build back some speed. So I've been doing like maybe like one workout a week. I've been doing a lot of mile repeats recently.
You know what else is repeating? Your washer.
The washer
singing to you.
The washer singing to me.
It's different from the apartment sound.
I know, it's a different song.
Yes.
It's okay. Samsung versus LG. I don't know.
Ooh, Samsung versus LGB. It's like Ultra versus Topo. Like, what's going on? Pick your poison.
Pick your brand.
We're not sponsored by either of those, so
No.
it's fine. That'd be kind of wild.
Today I might do like 2x2 mile and then do like 1 mile at the end. With,
3:45 pace for sure in the mile repeats.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's totally within my capabilities.
Yeah.
Especially today.
Mine too.
When
Especially
I'm
on the
ice. When I'm like a little sick. Yeah,
Awesome.
but I was thinking like 2x2 mile because it's not that fast. Like a mile repeat, I'd try to go faster.
Like you're gonna slow yourself down just a little bit just to conserve energy.
Yeah. Maybe like
that.
2x2 mile, like half marathon pace, and then like the mile, maybe at like 10K pace. But
Perfect.
yeah, it's just I would maybe next week if like the roads are if it's better out, I might.
Yeah.
On my day off on Thursday, do like a track workout and like rip some like shorter, faster intervals at Skyline.
We love Skyline. This podcast is sponsored by Ann Arbor. Just kidding. It's really not. But
Today it's sponsored by NeilMed.
sponsored by NeilMed.
Saline or nasal rinse.
Get those sinuses just obliterated.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna throw up sometimes when I do that.
Yeah, it's kind of jarring a little bit. Like the first time.
Well, like
I did the NeilMed
it's like
rinse.
like when you're throwing up, sometimes it like comes out of your nose. Like that's the feeling, and my body's like, oh, we're throwing up. Let's do that.
No, okay, like we'll get back on track in a second. I would like to mention Eclipse Day 2024 when I had a little too much Panda Express and it wasn't even I think the batch was just bad.
I think it's some bad.
And it was about 20 hours of like those same vegetables that didn't really look like they digested at all. Like they came out and I felt like I was like going through an exorcism or something. Like my body just
that was a rough day for you.
It was a rough day. It was home alone. My folks weren't home. You weren't even around. You were working.
Yeah,
I tried to work.
There was a Huron meeting.
Oh yeah, and then I had like a Huron 100 meeting and like it was like a live stream meeting and just like had some Pedialyte and good to go. So man,
throwing up is unpleasant.
Throwing up is unpleasant. That's the general consensus here. All right. Well, I think we answered that second question. I guess third and not final question. There's a few more, and then we'll kind of go rambly dambly. We've already been doing that, but are you having fun yet? Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is fun little like. Yeah, I don't know what's coming up. I don't know what's happening. I don't either. This is like I have like 5-6 questions, and then we kind of just like go around. So, this one I'm also curious for, so we can plan ahead. But also, it's just anyway. Where do you aspire to travel? East Lansing. Well, it's always fun to go back to your college town. And you're a split allegiance, no? You've I guess if you'd call it that. I attended both. The people want to know. I mean, I attended MSU for undergrad, and then I attended U of M for graduate school. House divided. Who's got the better football team?
I don't know. I don't know.
You're in Ann Arbor.
I just don't pay it. It's like, I mean, it's like when Katie was like having the conundrum over like, I can't understand football. Like, I can't, like, I don't have enough like space in my brain to like keep track of like who's winning and losing.
We can't get you to buy in.
I have like other things.
You have other interests there.
I have other interests.
More important than football players colliding their heads and getting concussions.
But yeah, no, I really liked MSU for undergrad. I applied and got into U of M for undergrad, and I don't know, the campus was fine. I just like couldn't really see myself there as a undergrad, but I really liked MSU. Yeah. It's very like spread out and like you're not like kind of crammed in. Like Ann Arbor is very like crammed in and like jumbled together, and I liked how there was like a clear definition between like campus and town, and then like East Lansing has some really good spots to run.
What are your favorite few for those who are looking to venture out that way?
Shout out Lansing River Trail.
Shout out.
Amazing. Like that it starts in campus and then it goes all the way into Lansing.
We all walked through there, right, when we went up there the other time?
Yeah, well, we walked in the river trail in campus, but it goes like, it exits campus and then like goes through all these like really cool nature centers and like crosses with the railroad. You can bike to the zoo. You can like get downtown. So that was like a really great place to run. And then every now and then we'd like run through the farms, like probably areas we weren't supposed to run, but you know, that's what you do when you're in college. You break a lot of rules.
Shout out Aiden Stillo.
I'm sure Aiden knows about these places, hopefully.
He's ran with a few people out that way.
In the farms.
Maybe he went on some dates too. I don't know.
Oh, you never know. Good place to have a date, you know?
Yeah.
Cows are watching.
Cows are watching.
Dairy farms.
It's a metaphor.
And then like, where else? Oh, there was this cool Bircham Road, which like was through East Lansing, would go all the way to this one pathway. I don't know if there's a different name for it, but it was just like called the Interurban Pathway, and it was this like stretch of path.
Yeah.
And it took you to Lake Lansing Park, and then you could do like a loop around Lake Lansing. And then
have you done the Lake Lansing relay?
I have not. No.
Do you aspire to?
I don't know.
Do you want to do a relay team next year?
Maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, Lake Lansing was a cool place to run. Like there was like some trails in there. That was before I was acquainted with the trail, so I like hiked that. So that was cool. And then Abbott Trail, it's like, again, similar to the Interurban Pathway, like a nice out and back. I'm sure it's changed since I've graduated. I graduated from MSU in 2015, so
there you go.
It's been almost 10 years. Jesus, wow. Yeah.
I won't even mention what I was doing in 2015. People know.
Yeah, I'm really aging myself here.
Yeah, well, we could talk about age gaps, but
yeah,
it's kind of a fun segue. Although I want to mention that it's really funny that I like jokingly mentioned East Lansing and then you went on like a 5-minute ramble about how cool East Lansing is, which it is, but is there anywhere else you'd like to travel?
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to go like out west. I haven't really been out west. My parents, in a last-ditch effort for like a spring break trip, took me to Las Vegas when I was a senior in high school.
Party it up, Viva Las Vegas. Shout out Elvis. Or not.
It's great people watching. I don't need to go back ever again. Just a lot of
Vegas
money. Money being spent, money being like just not for me. But yeah, I like to like go do some hiking and like trail running out west. That'd be cool.
If you had to pick like one of the states, like we've got like Washington, Oregon, Utah, Colorado, Idaho, like any of those, or would you just kind of have to look at a map and like?
I don't know. I think I'd have to look at a map and like see what is available.
I know a few spots, mostly in Utah, Colorado, but you were going to say something and I weirdly interrupted like I usually do.
I would like to, like abroad, I have like family in France, so that'd be cool to go there and see like actual France, like from like people who live there, like not just like Paris, like everybody goes to Paris, right? Because that's the tourist. I mean, that'd be cool, but I'd like to see like real France from, you know, people that actually live there, my in-laws. So
Where do your in-laws live? In
Chartres.
Chartres.
It's like kind of central. It's either southwest or southeast of Paris.
Okay.
It's kind of like countryside. That's where John's family is from.
Oh, very cool. This question is very poorly placed because we've kind of already been doing this, but I'd like to keep it around 30 to 45 minutes, and then I can chop it down if we need to. But I guess, with what's left, how would you like to spend our time today?
On the podcast?
On the pod. Well, on the pod in particular for this, but we can talk offline on how you'd like to spend the day otherwise.
Most of the day.
Well, actually, I would like to mention we will be going to the Bandit Rewind, so that's later on. Shout out Bandit Racing Team. Love you, Brent. Love you, Adam.
Yeah, be outside.
Big hugs.
Big
Yeah,
hugs.
really cold vibes, but anyway.
I don't know, like kind of on the podcast. I need to know like what else is gonna be like talked about.
Well, it's exactly it. Like, it's up to you, like, what you want to talk about. Like, I'm leaving the option to you.
Oh.
That way it's not just, like, me asking at you, like, who are you? What are your life aspirations?
Oh.
Have you ran a marathon? Do you hate ultras? Etc. Etc.
Well, I mean, I guess, like, talking about, like, running journeys and, like, maybe challenges and successes.
Okay. Let's start with, like, your first memories of running, perhaps, and, like, why you also continue now, or, like, that progression, maybe.
Yeah. It's hard to say what came first. Well, probably there are these, like, summer camps that you could do through the high school where I grew up, where, like, you could do all kinds of different sports, and
Sure.
for some reason, I don't know whose choice it was, I did like a track camp. And
Glutton
it was
for
like
pain.
I don't even know how old I was. I was probably like maybe late elementary school. But yeah, there were like these track camps in the high school. Cross country coach, he would like he ran them, and a couple of the girls on the team, the girls cross country and track team would like help run it. And so it was like a week, and at the end of the week there was like a track meet. And yeah, I remember like, the warm up was like one lap around the track, and then you'd go through stretches, and then you learned everything about like sprinting and handoffs and relays and a little bit of everything to kind of get you acquainted with stuff. So I always thought that was fun. And then when I was in like maybe later elementary school or like maybe middle school, I don't remember when, like they offered like a cross country camp, and it ran concurrently with the track one. And I remember like running like a mile, like running further, I was like, whoa, like this is really this is hard. Like like you get tired.
You get like a reality check almost, like.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is hard. Wow. And it was like a warm up that like we did all the time in high school, and looking back it's so funny. But that, and then I don't know when I started doing this, but my sister is 3 years older than me, and she did cross country and track at South, and
Shout out Grosse Pointe
South. Yeah, I thought it looked kind of cool, like the team at that time, and when I was doing it, and I'm hopeful that it's still the case now, had like at least 100 girls on like the JV squad, and
it's a big squad.
Yeah,
honestly.
So I thought that was cool. I was like, why? That's cool.
So I'm gonna get you back on track.
Yes, I'm getting there. So, anyways, I started running, like I would every day like run around like the neighborhood block. Yeah. And like time myself with like an old stopwatch
or something,
and like a stopwatch, like a coach.
Oh, okay.
Not even like a wristwatch. And so I would like do that every day, and then I would do 2 laps, and then
Fontaine style, like.
Yeah, and I kept like running like a little bit further. And then eventually I did a mile, and then one time, like we had a treadmill. I ran like 3 miles on the treadmill, and I was like, I did it. I can do cross country now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was probably like middle school, and then joined high school cross country. Freshman year, I was I was fine. I think my PR was like 22 something.
It's fine. It's faster than like 80% of people's 5K PR in the world.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. And then like freshman year track, I started getting like a bit better. And I remember like distinctly one time, like it was probably freshman year, I realized that like I had like quad muscles, and I was like, whoa.
Whoa.
Like I remember like touching my leg, and I was like, oh,
that's a thing.
oh, that's a thing.
That could go the wrong way if you're like just audio only version. Like,
That's a thing.
That's a thing. The quads do things.
They make
Believe
you run.
It or not. They make you run.
But yeah, that's kind of the start to running.
Very cool. And then I know you ran club with MSU for a bit.
Yeah.
And interestingly, like within the Bandit circles, there's a lot of MSU Run Club and M-Run alumni from different eras too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Shout out like Michelle Case, or is it Krozik?
Krozik.
Yeah.
Well, the CZ makes it ch, but
Krochik. I think Matt like always like just.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like with my last name, you just like make it easy for people.
Levasseur. I love it. So then, kind of, you had a little bit of let's talk. We don't have to, dwell on it too much. But the double Achilles, was like definitely a setback for you. I know.
Yeah, huge setback. Yeah, college.
Tore both, right? Or
I didn't like rupture them. Like when you rupture, it's like the whole big like
basketball
dramatic,
player vibes, like
dramatic. In 1 second it happens. This was like a tendinopathy, tendonitis, tendinopathy, and then like tearing over time. So it was a progressive injury, but it was during college. I got like really good in college because I was training a lot and like probably overtraining, and
as one does,
had like great success. I had like PRs, like tons of PRs.
18-minute 5K, I heard.
Yeah, 18:48 something 5K, and like had won. I was winning club meet races like 3K. I was All-American, so I was like really good, but I wasn't like I was running 7 days a week. Yeah, and I wasn't like resting and
not letting the body just like decompress a little bit.
Yeah, like. There and we did like outdoor indoor track, like so there was not much of an off season, so naturally like I got injured, and like at the end of sophomore year I started having some pain, and then it just like progressively was getting like really really bad, and like first you try PT and that didn't do anything, and then so I had to have surgery on both of them, which it was I like couldn't I had to take a whole year off of running just to have each procedure like 6 months apart, and that
like messes with you mentally in like ways that I think people don't understand. Like when you're injured and you're out, like you move out of that like circle.
Yeah, I
naturally.
stopped going to practice, and I kind of lost touch with like I naturally just like wasn't included in stuff anymore, and like my friend group kind of shifted to like non-running friends that I had. Luckily I had non-running friends,
right?
But it was just like too depressing to go to practice, and so I had those, and then like that was right at the end of college, and then like I was kind of trying to recover and get back into running, and I started grad school, and like I did PT, but then it would have been I should have known that like a strength coach existed, and that like or like I could have gotten a trainer that could have helped me like build up my leg strength again.
Right.
So, and I was for a while I was like limping for like at least a couple years. Yeah. Maybe like a year or two afterwards, just because stuff hurt or like wasn't strong enough, and then other injuries pop up. So it was like a huge setback, and like I still don't feel like I don't have like the foot strength and like calf strength that I used to have, so that feels like a detriment to running. Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I want to publicly, and I've also already privately done this, but just give you some love for like, where you're at, and I know you've kind of weaved and waddled through a lot of different like event disciplines, and just taking up trail running this year. I know it's a different domain, but like, I think it's really important to like highlight like, when you have an injury, especially like lower body, like anything connected to your feet, like things are just going to change. And it's really hard to like not compare it to like what you've had before, which is really tough. So I know you beat yourself up, but and I know you want to do better, and that's probably why you're doing Saturday workouts in 20-degree weather. So I guess like with those injuries, like what advice would you give to people that are like trying to come back from that and maybe struggling to get to where they were before?
Well, I'll have like other goals outside of running.
Yes.
Like career goals or like other personal goals. Like I'm able to like, I'm able to feel like content because I have like, I have a job, and I have like a job where I'm never done learning, even though I'm done with school. So have like other goals to work on. And then even within like sport, maybe have like other non-running goals, like maybe like strength training goals or like biking goals if you're a runner. Just something else that like, if running's not going great, like have some other like athletic goals to do.
Definitely. To
work on. And then the little things, like the band work and the like, the calf raises and stuff like stuff. Yeah, like obviously like lifting heavy weights, doing big movements, like squats and deadlifts are good, but then like smaller like auxiliary work is helpful too.
Yeah, definitely. Man, I really don't have much else.
We didn't talk that much about food.
We didn't talk that much about food. It's kind of like if you want to talk about food, you can. If you don't, it's Aid Station Cuisine, so it's like kind of a trail running joke. I guess we could talk about how Aid Station Cuisine came about. We're on a run with Austin Lewis, Mr. Cameraman Brain Cell Dude. I gotta get him on here too. We'll just talk about, I don't know, Black Canyon. Dude, I am redlining so hard. So we're on PawAnRepeat Trail, and I was like, I want to do a podcast. But I couldn't figure out. I don't know where, like, the Aid Station piece came up.
I don't know.
I think it was just like, dude, what's your favorite Aid Station food? It was also at a bandit run, like, Brent asked me like the question of like
the check-in
question, like the icebreakers you do in like college or whatever.
Well, you should include that. Like, what's your favorite like fuel? Like either like before a run, during a run, after a run, like because that is kind of like the title,
Well, that is actually what I'm going to ask you now.
Oh, okay.
Favorites. Well, what is your favorite Aid Station Cuisine item?
Well, I mean, I haven't really done like an ultra, so I haven't really like eaten actual food during Woodstock 26.2. I just
first of all, saying Woodstock 26.2 just feels so wrong.
What? Why?
It just feels like it should be longer than 26.2. Well, you did go longer.
It was 27.
So technically, maybe. You're an ultra marathoner now.
I would go as far as to say that.
5 more miles.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really like eat anything. I just took my gels and like that was fine. I'm sure if I do an ultra, maybe I'll like experiment with like food, but
what would taste the best?
Maybe just like some bread, like something like a tortilla.
Just a little sourdough piece.
Some tortilla or
some nanners on there.
Maybe some nanners.
Ooh.
Nothing too heavy.
Yeah. Okay, how about like a pre-race snack? Oh, I'm gonna get canned by Adam.
Snack. I like a stroop waffle.
You do love a stroop.
Yeah, a stroop waffle, like a honey zinger, a stroop waffle. Yeah, those usually like digest pretty well for me, and I don't feel like. Usually they don't upset my stomach.
Yeah. A lot of glucose in those boys.
Well, that's the point,
Yeah.
That is the point.
That is true. What's your you're on death row. What's your favorite meal?
Some sort of garlic bread or breadsticks.
Yes.
Oh, so like
Or
the La Marsa bread.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
Hot La Marsa bread with the garlic sauce.
Shout out La Marsa. Can you sponsor the Huron 100 with Aid Station?
Yeah,
That'd be great.
that's actually the bread that I would probably eat.
Yeah.
At an
Oh
aid
my
station,
God.
that La Marsa bread.
Yes.
So that and
Our
then,
first date was at La Marsa, technically.
Well, if you want to, if you're not considering Kensington and BCAT as a date.
Work a shift, get off early, go to La Marsa, get really annoyed that the girl is not coming fast enough, even though she's right on time.
She's coming at her prescribed time.
Stop.
Okay, La Marsa bread and garlic sauce. Maybe like some like pesto pasta. And then
Nudes
like
and Company or just like homemade?
homemade. Noodles is fine, but like, you know, homemade.
You can do it yourself.
Yeah. And then MSU Baker's like sugar cookie with like the frosting on it. If you went to MSU, you know. Like it was like
If you know, you know.
if you know, you know. Like every game day they would have these cookies in the dining halls. They were like these sugar cookies that were like
To
they were,
die
like,
for.
soft, and there was frosting. You could also custom order these cookies with like something printed on the frosting. So if you had like someone's birthday,
Yeah.
you could like print a picture on the cookie. So and
Real-
that would be dessert.
Real talk. Can a Wolverine eat a Spartan cookie and get away with it?
Well, sure. I don't know. I haven't had an MSU Baker's cookie since
being a Wolverine.
I've graduated. Yeah,
Wow.
I run across the block. Nothing. Well, I mean, bad stuff has happened to me, but I don't think that.
See, that's another thing too. Is like, I went to Western, and it's like, if I run on the block M at a different school, like,
if you're
what does that do? Also, the M is flipped upside down, and it's a W.
If you run across the block M as a Michigan alumni, like, do you get like audited by the IRS?
Right.
Like,
We don't know.
Is it like identity theft? Like, what's the equivalent? Because like the thing is like you fail your blue books, but like,
Yes.
are they still doing blue books? Like,
We don't know.
When I was in college, I had one blue book exam, and it was a green book because it was MSU.
Oh, you're talking about like the color of the pamphlets?
The blue books, yeah. Like if
Yeah.
you had like an essay test, like an essay exam.
We had a very different college experience.
What, you guys didn't have blue books? You just typed on your computers?
No, we didn't type on the computers. It was, I don't even remember. Honestly.
Well, did you take like humanities at all? Because I had to do a blue book for like a humanities class.
Yeah.
It was like a Latin American history class or something.
Yeah. Man, this has been fun. One final question: what advice would you give to people who are looking to kind of just generally improve their lives through any of the domains we talked about today? And you kind of might have already answered that, but
Wow. Improve their life. Get enough sleep.
sleep.
As a mental health professional, sleep is like one of the most important things
Yeah.
you can do for yourself, mental
It's true.
health wise, physical health wise.
I feel a lot better when I get sleep.
You can't like catch up on sleep.
No.
Like once you've had a deficit, like you've got a deficit.
Yeah, you feel it.
Yeah. So
It's true.
sleep.
Sleep.
Get off your phone. Like
Yeah.
put your like. One of my colleagues.
As people are watching this recap on a phone, probably.
One of my colleagues wrote like a blog post about like he works with a lot of behavioral addictions, and he wrote a blog post about like technology, and he said like,
It's wild.
what if you like if you, when you're at home, like keep your phone in like a different room of the house.
Yeah.
Which like feels like simple, like but a lot
I
of
bet
people.
a lot of people can't do it.
Yeah. So I've been trying
Yeah.
to do that, like keep my phone in a different room, or yeah, just like
That was
Get
one
off.
of the things that attracted me to you too initially, was like, you're not on your phone all the time.
uh-huh.
And like, you kind of keep a distance from texting me sometimes, which is nice. Like, I don't feel like
Yeah.
constantly crammed by it. So
Well, sure. Sometimes I have to because
yeah,
I'm like
the nature of your work.
With the nature of my work, I can't text all the time.
Yeah.
That would be unprofessional. But yeah, like
Perfect.
get enough sleep, get off your phone. Yeah. Delete social media. No.
Delete all the dating apps, delete social media,
Just-
except Strava.
Let's just keep Strava.
Final
Yeah.
question: is Strava a dating app?
In my experience, no.
But
Well,
could it
I mean,
be?
it could have been. I don't know. Like, did it help us court each other. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, I'm saying mostly just referring to like the DM feature.
I don't know. I mean,
although we like sarcastically send DMs now, like
I don't know. I'm not. Well, neither.
What?
I'm not. I'm not single, and I'm not DMing people on. Are people doing that?
I don't know. Like that's
Like it was joked about, but like, did that actually happen?
I mean, jokes come from somewhere, so who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good. I have no idea. I mean, it's a great way to see who is dating, like who's
It's
running
true.
together, and then like, oh, you're spending a night at somebody's house because you ran from their house. Oh.
Story of our entire relationship.
I mean, that's probably
this
how
year.
people figured us out. I saw
Some
that.
people didn't. We won't shout them out publicly. Joe.
If you know, you know.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna wrap here. Thank you so much for coming on, Margaret. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for checking out an episode from the Aid Station Cuisine podcast, Season 1. If you like the podcast, please share it with all your friends. Give it a rating on whatever platform you're on. And stay tuned to our PawAnRepeat Media Instagram for more information on upcoming episodes and other podcasts we may have available. Other than that, I hope you all have a great day. And, yeah, take care.